Good morning, everyone. We are pleased to welcome you for the third day of World FIRA. I hope you enjoyed the AXEMA's breakfast. Thanks a lot. When we start preparing this 8th edition of World FIRA, we wanted to focus on the main challenge for the industry, autonomy. We strongly believe that World FIRA is the place to gather the different work groups worldwide engaged in agrobotics autonomy, to exchange, to make an update, and to give inputs on this key topic. This year, World FIRA and GoFar launched the first edition of the International Agricultural Autonomy Symposium by FIRA. Thank you, Guillaume from AXEMA and Cédric from Le Grand Défi Robotique Agricole for sharing your expertise and your involvement this year. The floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. Welcome. I am pleased and honored to open with Cédric this first international symposium on autonomy in agriculture. I am Guillaume Bocquet, Director of Regulatory Affairs at AXEMA, the French Association of Manufacturers and Importers of Agriculture Equipment and Gardening Equipment in France, association. AXEMA brings together around 230 manufacturers representing 93% of the French agriculture equipment market in terms of sales. As a Director of Regulatory Affairs, of course, I work with our manufacturer members on regulatory topics and standardization issues. But as I am also involved at European level at SEMA, I am Secretary of Project Team 4, which is dedicated to safety of autonomous function. And I am also chairman at the CEN TC 144, which is a European Technical Committee for Standardization on Agriculture, Machinery and Tractors. Cédric, please introduce yourself.
Hello everybody. My name is Cédric Seguino. I was formerly in NIO Technology, and during that previous job, I had the opportunity to develop my skills about regulatory affairs, and I had the opportunity to work with Guillaume in the frame of some working group talking about standardization and regulation, and I was the chairman of the PT4 at the CIMA level, where we had the opportunity to talk with experts from all around the world about this particular topic, and especially the safety of autonomous function. I have been freshly appointed at the beginning of the year at the head of the Grand Défi de la Robotique Agricole, which is a French program hosted by Robagri. And that French program aims to deploy and to use accurately, with impact, 21 million euros over 5 years to help and consolidate the sector in order to develop robots and to deploy robots in the field and to make it a reality. So it's to say that we are quite convinced that we need to help a little bit the development of the sector right now in order to be able to have a real and fast impact on the agriculture with the help of robotics. We are convinced that with such technologies, we will be able to deploy new practices in the field, like agroecology and other practices good for the planet and with a good impact on the environment and on the health of farmers and people. The point is that with robotics, we are thinking about autonomy, autonomous function, and for sure there is a lot of question about that subject right now. So, in the frame of the Grand Défi of the robotic, we are going to try to promote 3 stages. One stage dedicated to research in agroecology, especially to evaluate how robotics can help to do that. We are going to promote and to develop a framework to help manufacturer and OEM also to be able to design and to go faster on the market. We are going to provide tools, we are going to provide method, we are going to provide algorithm for them to use and to go faster in the design phase. And we also need to clarify the rules. We need to help the farmers to understand what is at stake and how to deploy robotics in the field. And that's, on that topic especially, that I'm really happy to share with Guillaume this morning and this afternoon that first symposium, because clearly autonomous function, the fact that you are going to remove the operator from the field during the operation, it's a new era which is just going to open right now with some new generation robots. We are now available to do such an approach on the field, and there is a lot of questions associated to that. So, the Grand Défi is open by nature to everybody, and for me it's really a chance today to be able to activate with you an intelligence collective to try to make some discussion, open discussion about this subject. So, yeah, let's start on the day.
Thank you, Cedric. So, for nearly 10 years, agricultural robots have been increasingly present in the fields around the world. It's a fact. According to a study made in France, led by the Observatoire des usages du numérique en agriculture, it is estimated that in France, around 600 agricultural robots are in use in field crops in 2023, compared with around 100 in 2018. The same study estimates that in 2018, 5 models were available for purchase, whereas today, nearly 25 different models are available. Behind this apparent growth in supply and use, the deployment of autonomy in fields leads to varying observations, with different deployment speeds, and with sometimes the feeling that several visions are confronting each other. This first edition of the International Symposium on Autonomy is therefore an opportunity for us to share experiences and exchange knowledge to enable all players to build together the next steps in the deployment of autonomy in agriculture. With testimonials and your active contribution, all along this day, we invite you to take stock. How safe are autonomous machines for farmers and their employees? Where do we stand in terms of legislation? What are the technical obstacles? How do users feel about using their autonomous machines? What are the future jobs to be created? Is the automation of agriculture tasks creating new business models? So many questions that we will try to answer today, or at least to address. So Cedric, can you please tell us how we plan to address these questions today?
Yeah, as we have said, you are going to become contributor to that experience. So what we are going to do, during the morning, we are going to give to you a sheet with a QR code on it, on which you will be able to vote for 3 of 10 topics. We are going to propose at first 10 topics related to the autonomy in the field in order to try to evaluate on which topic we are going to work this afternoon. So it's to say that basically we are going to have roundtable, up to 10 maybe roundtable if we are enough people to do that. Depending on the number of attendees, we are going to open the table. So basically, if we are 20 people, we will have only 2 to 3 tables. So only the 2 or 3 first topic, which has the maximum of votes this morning, will be open this afternoon. If we are 100 people, we will be able to open all of the topics, and in that case, we will have the 10 topics on which we will be able to debate. Okay, so this morning, very important things. During all of the morning, during all of the session, you will have experts, you will have manufacturers, you will have users who are going to testimony and to give their point of view about these topics. Feel free to vote. You can change your mind, you can change your vote. At the end of the morning, you will have 3 topics on your side that you are going to promote, and we are going to rank all of the topics. We are going to ask to you at the end of the morning who is going to attend during the bar camp this afternoon, and depending on that, we will decide how many tables we are going to open, okay? So we are going to share the sheet in a few minutes, but at first we are going to introduce to you the 10 first topics we have identified, just to give you some ideas about what we are talking about. And you will have also the opportunity during the morning, if you feel it is necessary, following the discussion of the morning, you will have the opportunity on the Google form also to propose new topics. And we are going to have a moderation action, and if it is clearly a new topic which is not already included in the other one, we will add it for the discussion during the afternoon. Just to be sure, the collective intelligence session will start at 2 o'clock and will finish at 4 o'clock. During that common session, we will make the roundtable, we will have a brainstorming session on these different topics, and the restitution on the second half of the session. At the end of the day, we will have generated a lot of knowledge, a lot of questions, and some recommendations, I hope. So we are going to, with that, to try to propose a kind of white paper which will be available for everybody. It will be publicly open for everybody, public affairs and also private agent, for you to use it freely as you want to orientate your development, your reflection, your roadmap about regulation, standardization, and so on. So the target is to propose something which will be valuable for everybody. So we strongly hope on your contribution to make that event a success. So let's start with the 10 topics. I'm going to start with the first one. The first topic will be associated to the appropriation of autonomous units by farmers. So the kind of question which could arise around the table will be basically, does autonomy bring additional complexity to the farmers? And how can this additional complexity be reduced and supported by the farmers or the dealers or whatever for the actor? What are the liability concerns also associated to autonomous unit? And how to ensure also the trust in these new technologies? Who is the owner of the data generated? What are the training concerns for farmers, for students, for dealers? How to accelerate that appropriation process? So all of the questions related to the appropriation of the technologies will be discussed around one table. A second table will be dedicated to business opportunities. Kind of question, you have autonomous units in the field, operator have time to do other things. So with that, with no more driver, maybe we can have new job occurring, like supervising activities. What are the services which are expected from the dealer, from the manufacturer about autonomous unit? What are the opportunities for services model? For service provider, for autonomous units pooling with specialized operator, can we put in place new services, new business model around that? Or what are the obstacles for the development of such kind of model of services?
The third topic we propose to you is road and logistics. As autonomous machinery are designed mainly for off-road application or in-field application, how to deal with the road and logistic issues. That means how to ensure transportation and the use of public roads. Are there new operations for maintenance or logistics to be integrated related to in-field autonomy? What logistic operation could be automatized? So that is the third topic proposed. The fourth topic proposed is risk. Autonomy means new risk in field. We all know that. So the topic is to be discussed, and what are those new risks incoming with the autonomous operations? How to balance risk mitigation between organizational measures and additional safety embedded on the machine itself. Do the upcoming regulations provide a sufficient framework to user and to protect people? Does removing the farmer from the field increase the mental load?
The fifth one will be dedicated to interoperability and versatility. Kind of question, for instance, what are the current standards on the table for interoperability? Are there homegrown or international standards? Are there adapted databases, common algorithm, or protocol already in place dedicated to autonomous units? How far are they used by designer if there are common databases? And what are also the physical interfaces which are suited for autonomous units? The sixth one will be dedicated to the cost and the benefits associated to autonomy in the field. What are the costs of the additional feature of the autonomy? It is an additional feature. What is the actual cost of such a feature? And what is the acceptable price for the farmer? There is some new services associated to that. How much is ready to pay?
The seventh topic is environment. Autonomous machinery are often presented as a benefit for environment, as it is concerning the eco-design topics, and also to be a benefit and to optimize agronomic and environmental impacts. So the question that we should address in this theme is there any impact expected on the environment from autonomous units? Positives, negatives? How to compare conventional machines' performance and autonomous units? Do we need to consider the work rate per hour or per day? How to take into account cultures and agronomics in the eco-design process? The eighth theme is farm organization. Autonomous units in the field lead to modification of the farm organization. So, how autonomous units are going to be integrated in the current farm environment? What are the impacts on the current system? Interaction with implements, vehicles, FMIs? What is the impact on labor and skills? And what are the links with DSTs?
And the two last topics. First one, safety standards and regulation. Quite a good one. What are the commonalities between all of the regulation around the world about autonomy? Can international standards be compliant with all of these different regulations around the world? Do we need to develop regional standards or other texts, other form? And do these new regulations cover the anticipated risk associated with in-field autonomy? And what are the different conformity assessment processes? And are they suited to robotics? And the last topic will be about autonomous tractor. How to define an autonomous tractor compared to a machinery? And what is the difference between an autonomous machine and an autonomous tractor? Is there any specific risk from autonomous tractor? And how to deal with occupational safety for autonomous tractor? What should be an appropriate European dedicated regulation? Because on that particular topic, I think that there is a hot spot with European regulation. So, it was a long list to give you some example of the question which you can debate this afternoon. So, remember, we are going to share with you a QR code right now, and you will have the opportunity to vote for your top 3 preferred priority, and we will open the table depending on the number of attendees this afternoon. Feel free also to come with friends this afternoon. The more we are, the better. So we are going to distribute the sheet. Vote for 3 topics. Be careful. We do not have any software rules. You can vote actually for more than 3, but please keep in mind the rule, only 3 for us to have something which is equitable.
Okay, so let's talk now about the program of the morning. To stimulate your thinking and shed light on those 10 proposed issues, 2 workshops will be held this morning. Each of these workshops will ally different experiences and knowledge. The first workshop, which I'll be leading from 9:30, will focus on real-life use cases. The testimonial of 6 users and manufacturers will provide an insight into the challenges and expectations for autonomous machines already deployed on farms. It will question the way manufacturers are responding to this issue and highlight feedback from the field. And a long question and answer session will give you the opportunity to exchange views directly with the speakers. The second workshop will take place from 11 and will be led by Alessio Bolognesi, Digital Agriculture Technical Officer at FIRA Unacoma, Italy. This workshop will highlight ongoing work on standardization and compliance with current and future regulatory frameworks. 5 international speakers will explore how governments, unions, and associations are working together to establish the most effective regulatory framework for the development of agricultural robots. At the end of these 2 workshops, you will be able to vote or modify your votes in anticipation of the afternoon workshop. So, we wish you an excellent symposium day and look forward to your contributions. We are counting on you. There's nothing like collective intelligence to meet the challenge of autonomy. Thank you.